Coming up on Chapman News, Tom Jackson looks at the post-election landscape of the web.
And Chapman University flips to a new chapter in Santa Ana with the help of a barber turned bookseller. Coming up on Chapman News.
I will be live previewing tomorrow's big football game with head coach Bobo, and stay tuned. Chapman News starts right now.
Well, we made it through the week. Good morning and welcome to Chapman News. I'm Adam Herbets and that's Jackie Hudspeth.
Thanks, Adam. Before we get to the show, we were talking about special holidays in the newsroom in honor of the Veterans Day weekend. And guess what? It's officially the Chaos Never Dies Day.
Now, I'm really questioning this. I don't think that's a real holiday, Jackie.
It totally is. It's on Google.
Well, if the internet's your only source, then I think we better get on to some real news because gotta get going here. Congress has wasted no time after the election to begin investigations into this year's September 11th Libya attack. We now go to Nicole Swinford, who can tell us more.
Washington's political dynamics might not have changed, but now with the election over and distractions gone, certain events, namely the Benghazi attacks, are coming under scrutiny by Congress. The House Foreign Affairs Committee will hold an open hearing next Thursday, while the House Intelligence Committee and the Senate Intelligence Committee will hold closed hearings on November 15th. The attack that killed 4 Americans and what exactly happened there 2 months ago created sparks on the campaign trail.
Administration indicated that this was a reaction to a video and was a spontaneous reaction.
Despite initial confusion, President Obama insists that the White House was straight with the American people.
That anybody in my team, whether Secretary of State, our UN ambassador, anybody on my team would play politics or mislead when we've lost 4 of our own, Governor, is offensive.
Expected to testify are Director of National Intelligence James Clapper, CIA Director David Petraeus, and Director of the National Counterterrorism Center Matt Olson. For Chapman News, I'm Nicole Swinford.
Also invited to testify is Secretary of State Hillary Clinton.
Chapman has partnered with Libreria Martinez in Santa Ana to promote literacy and higher education in the community. Christina Hasnorel has the story.
Today, Ruben Martinez is a bookseller, Chapman Presidential Fellow, and recipient of an honorary doctorate from Chapman University. But in 1975, he was simply a barber. A barber who happened to lend out books.
When I had the barber shop in Santa Ana, I had a good clientele, and I had very professional people, but I also had working class people that brought their children in. So I had all kinds. But to keep them entertained, I always had good literature.
In time, Ruben found that the books he lent out didn't always find their way back.
They would read, and when I cut their hair, they said, "Can I borrow that book? I'll bring it back on my next appointment." That doesn't happen. Nobody returns books. So I was going to Tijuana, Mexico to buy the same books for so many times. Finally, a bookstore owner there told me, "Mr. Martinez, why don't you open up a bookstore? You bought this book 15 times. So on the way back driving, I thought about it, and that's when the seed was planted, and that was going on 21 years now.
Ruben opened up a bookstore in Santa Ana called Libreria Martinez, selling books in both English and Spanish to promote literacy in his community. But, like other booksellers, Martinez recently struggled to keep his bookstore afloat. Eventually, it seemed like he wouldn't be able to. And that's when Chapman University stepped in. In October, Libreria Martinez was reopened as Libreria Martinez de Chapman University. The school partnered with the bookstore to continue Ruben's goal of promoting literacy and higher education in the Hispanic community.
Well, usually we read every day. We read every day at home before go to bed. And at school, during the time that the teachers gave us as a parents for 15 or 20 minutes in the morning too.
The store will now remain open and operated by Chapman University, with all proceeds going to support educational efforts in Santa Ana. The building will also hold field study classes for those enrolled in the College of Educational Studies. In Santa Ana, Christina Hosnorel, Chapman News.
And Ruben's favorite thing to read is National Geographic, having read every issue since 1940.
A Santa Ana youth sports coach was convicted on Monday of sexually assaulting 11 of his students. Luis Alberto Pineda was found guilty of 17 felony counts of lewd acts upon a minor under the age of 14, 2 felony counts each of sodomy by force, sodomy of a person under the age of 16, along with additional oral copulation and sexual penetration counts. The victims included a 9-year-old girl and 2 boys, ages 11 and 14. Pineda worked as a martial arts assistant instructor at Muyadu Martial Arts in Fullerton between 2005 and 2010. During this time, he also worked as a soccer coach for the North Orange County Youth Soccer Premier League. Prosecutors say Pineda met his victims through these coaching jobs and often befriended parents in order to gain further access to the children. Pineda faces a maximum of 255 years to life in prison.
On Wednesday, Reverend Robert Schuller, the former chairman and on the board of directors for the Crystal Cathedral, took the witness stand for the cathedral's bankruptcy case. Things did not go so well as Schuller seemed confused and could not remember the answers to many of the questions at times. At times, he appeared to contradict his previous statements and sometimes could not recall them. Schuller's 2 hours on the stand were mainly focused on his claim that the Crystal Cathedral owes him millions of dollars. According to Schuller, the cathedral was allowed to use his books and writings. He claims the property of the books was his and not the ministry. His daughter, Carol Schuller Milner, said that her father experiences memory problems, especially under stress. However, she disclaimed the rumor that her father has dementia.
Air travel to New York returned to normal Thursday after another storm with strong winds and freezing temperatures forced airlines to cancel more than 1,000 flights on Wednesday. These cancellations just come 1 week after Superstorm Sandy's destruction canceled over 20,000 flights to the East Coast. The National Weather Service said the low-pressure center reached its peak Wednesday night before moving out to sea Thursday. As for Sandy, its death toll more than 100. Most of the victims in New York and New Jersey. Its economic damage more than $50 billion. Second costliest storm in U.S. history, behind, of course, Hurricane Katrina.
And in response to Hurricane Sandy, Haven Gastropub will be hosting a 15-hour fundraiser in both their Old Town Orange and Pasadena locations. From 11 a.m. to 2 a.m., 100% of the profits from the restaurant will be donated to the Red Cross Disaster Relief, set up through Indiegogo for thousands of people displaced by the storm. The website teamed up with the Red Cross in an effort to offer more than just a Donate Now button. For more information, go to www.indiegogo.com/Haven4Sandy and head on over to Haven to enjoy a delicious meal while directly helping the victims. I recommend the mac and cheese. When we come back, we have your weekend weather forecast and a debriefing from that national event that occurred on Tuesday.
I assume, Jackie, you mean the election, correct?
No, I mean the results show for The Voice.
I hope you're joking with me.
I'm kidding.
All right, yeah, we'll be right back.
Back in the hall, and as you can see, it's a little cold and cloudy today in Orange County. We'll have more for you next with the weather.
Nice. No. Oops. Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy.
Works every time.
Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
And welcome back to Chapman News. I'm Jackie Hetzpeth, and my beautiful partner over here is Adam Herbitz.
You got that right. Now, like a lot of our viewers, I'm a SoCal native, so you can imagine my surprise yesterday when I saw these little water droplets falling out of the sky yesterday. And, you know, I had no idea what was going on. I thought the sky was falling. Hopefully, Erica out in the field, can you tell us what in the world is going on? Erica.
Hey guys, I'm on top of Beckman Hall and it's a little bit chilly here today. As you can see, we've got clouds hanging over Chapman's campus. And yesterday we saw a little bit of rain, luckily a little more sunshine today, but it's definitely gotten colder. It's finally the fall season. Now let's take a look at our national forecast. As we look at the East Coast, we can see they're finally warming up after Hurricane Sandy came through. We've got 53 in New York and 51 in Boston. Moving down the coast, you can see 77 in Miami, so the Floridians are getting a little bit of warm weather. The middle of the country's got a lot of wind. We've got 86 in Brownsville, Texas, but a lot of wind coming across Nevada. Salt Lake City's got rain, 40 degrees. Really cold up north. Billings got rain, 34 degrees. And as we look across to the west coast, also San Francisco and Los Angeles seeing some rain, 57 in San Fran and 62 in LA. Let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. Today, we're going to have a high of 64 and a low of 47. Pretty similar tomorrow with a high of 63 and a low of 43. It's going to be rainy, so keep the rain jackets out. Sunday's got a high of 69, a low of 46, but it is going to be sunny. Monday and Tuesday, high 70s, low 50s, but a little partly cloudy, so not too warm for the fall. And for everybody here at Chapman News, I just want to send a little bit of love back to the East Coast where our friends and family are hopefully safe after the Hurricane Sandy and Storm Athena this past week. Hopefully everybody's got power back and is safe and happy. For Chapman News, I'm Erica Scott.
Thanks, Erica. Now, there was nowhere to hide from election 2012 coverage as Tom Jackson looks at social media's impact on young voters Tuesday night.
And remind the world just why it is that we live in the greatest nation on earth. Thank you.
Election day has come and gone, and the president was reelected for another 4 years. America is hoping for improvement. However, most tech-savvy youngsters are just hoping November 7th meant the end of annoying Facebook posts.
It was really annoying turning on my Facebook and getting everyone's super politically charged statuses.
It was hard to look at one's newsfeed or Twitter page on Tuesday and not see either a snarky comment or a threat to hop the border north if the Barack Obama was reelected. Experts believe Facebook hasn't seen this much useless traffic since the Giants won the World Series. These unimportant statuses and tweets were not only unoriginal, but also caused fights at times.
There was a lady and her aunt fighting on Facebook. Swear words were thrown. People were calling each other names. The aunt and the friend defriended each other on Facebook.
Yeah, one of my best friends actually posted a status that blamed Barack Obama for the current New York Jets season.
Some may argue that the simple solution to this problem is to just not log on to Facebook. However, I ask you, where else can one find out the relationship status of that cheating, horrible woman, Stacy? For Chapman News, I'm Tom Jackson.
Thanks, Tom. It certainly is complicated. Enjoy your quiet news feed while it lasts. Thanksgiving is just around the corner, and the interwebs surely going to explode with thank yous for everything from family to potentially an improbable Lions win.
Well, hey, I mean, it could happen. Dr. Karim Khani is the Chief of Psychiatry Liaison Services at Hoag Hospital and an Army Reserve Major who has served 2 tours in Iraq. She is now conducting a study abroad with a major media source. Courtney Thomas brings us this report.
Soldiers are not only battling overseas, but battling with issues we are all familiar with, and that's Facebook. Facebook has created infamous problems for the military, from releasing disrespectful photos of soldiers to revealing names of dead soldiers before families have been warned. I sat down with Dr. Karim Khani to discuss how Facebook has created a host of problems for soldiers.
What I noticed was that, almost half of the soldiers that would come in for new appointments had some sort of home front issue. And a lot of it came because they found out something or assumed something that they saw via Facebook.
Younger soldiers are often affected by this Facebook issue. Not only are they dealing with the hardships of being away, but also the concerns of what's happening at home.
Something is going horribly wrong at home, whether it's a sick child, a sick parent, you think there's infidelity. You can't stay focused on the job at hand. And when you're not focused on the job at hand in the middle of a war zone, it's it's not just you, it's actually a unit-wide issue.
Karamkani has observed symptoms of depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts in relation to Facebook.
A lot of times it was just something they found out right in that moment. And we would sort of keep them with whoever their assigned buddy was. And then with the social worker and the therapist in the unit, try to call home and figure out what exactly is the situation that we're dealing with. Because sometimes what we see in a picture isn't exactly what's going on in that person's life.
Facebook can be a great way to keep in touch with family and friends. For soldiers, it is also a reminder of how out of touch they may really be. From Hoag Hospital in Newport Beach, I'm Courtney Thomas, Chapman News.
And Dr. Karamkani plans to continue her study next year while touring in Iraq.
According to the Pentagon, 2 Iranian jets attacked an unarmed United States drone that was conducting routine surveillance 16 miles off the coast. Spokesman George Little says that the MQ-1 Predator drone was in international airspace and was no threat to Iran. The 2 jets fired twice at the drone and missed, after which the drone fled to its base at an undisclosed location. The jets pursued it, but stopped shortly after. In response, the United States imposed new financial sanctions on Iranian entities on Thursday. Further measures could range from diplomatic to military. When asked if the attack should be considered an act of war, Little preferred not to go into, quote, legal characterizations of the event.
Former Westminster Mayor and City Councilman Frank Fry passed away this week. Fry was 87 years old and served his city for over 40 years, longer than any other city council member in Orange County. He witnessed Westminster's transformation from a white middle-class city into the large Vietnamese community it is today. The councilman certainly formed his legacy. He was the force behind a Vietnam War statue that stands near City Hall, and in 2009, city officials renamed its local Hoover Park the Frank G. Fry Park. Former Assemblyman Van Tran said that Fry was the glue that held everyone together.
Now, if you were given $500,000 to renovate a dog park, what would you do? These are the questions that keep me up at night. But Chapman News' Keon Vahedi has all the details on someone who just might have an idea.
This local dog park stretching over 2 acres in Costa Mesa, better known as Bark Park, is on the brink of a canine design revolution that's out of this world, literally.
This is your commander speaking. Your mission is to find the dream dog park.
After submitting a space-themed proposal online, 22-year-old Orange County resident Brianna Smith and her 1-year-old border collie Star are in the top 12 of a nationwide contest sponsored by Purina Beneful, where the winner gets $500,000 to redesign a dog park of their choice. And clearly, Bark Park goers here are ready for change.
I love that idea. Can I vote for her? What do I do?
There's not a lot of grass. The dirt kicks up, makes the dogs cough. So I think it would be great because it's a great place for them to socialize and get all their hyperactivity out.
One of Brianna's ideas to improve the dog park is to bring more grass in areas where there's dirt like this.
I wanted to put in a water area, so I made that like the shooting stars, you know. Also more grass areas and an agility area for people to practice on, and more playing area for the dogs too.
To cast your vote for Brianna's Star or any other entries, log on to www.beneful.com. Reporting from the city of Costa Mesa, Keon Vahedi, Chapman News.
The winner of Purina Beneful's contest set to be named by the end of this week.
Sounds like those puppies are going to be living the life, frolicking around, catching the ball. Oh wait, speaking of sports, Adam, you're a guy. What's going on there?
Well, I know there's some Panther postseason action going on, and I'm sure our own Wes Rappaport has the rest. Wes, what's going on in sports?
Adam, when we come back, breaking news in the NBA reports that Coach Mike Brown has been fired, plus your Chapman Panther highlights, that and more next on the Best Campus Sports Show.
Turning a 20-foot wall into a canvas takes vision. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous.
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're going to be hanging out a little bit more.
Up to 40% of businesses never recover after experiencing a major disaster. Make a plan at ready.gov/business.
That's right, we are still here, folks.
And more importantly, so are you. Thanks for sticking with us.
Unfortunately, if you stayed for our beautiful faces, we have some sad news for you. We're going to pass it off to Wesley Rappaport with sports.
Now, Wes, I really like that, Mr. Rappaport. Now, when it comes to the Lakers, I really want to know, what exactly is your panic level with this team? A lot of talk going on. Do you have the latest with that?
Well, Adam, breaking news out of the NBA. We've got full Panther sports for you in a moment, but we begin with breaking news out of Los Angeles. Breaking news, 5 games into the season, the Lakers have fired head coach Mike Brown. Brown, the replacement for legendary coach Phil Jackson in 2011, took Los Angeles to a second-round playoff appearance in his first season. Currently, the Lakers are 1-4. Brown's firing comes 2 days after first reports of death threats towards his son Elijah, who plays at Santa Ana's Mater Dei High School. Bernie Bickerstaff will coach the team tonight against the Warriors. And the Lakers were 42-29 under Brown. This is the shortest tenure for a Lakers head coach since Frank Hamblin in 2005. Lakers GM Mitch Kupchak says, quote, "This was a difficult and painful decision to make. Mike was very hardworking and dedicated, but we felt it was in the best interest of the team to make a change at this time." He goes on to say, "We appreciate Mike's efforts and contributions and wish him and his family the best of luck." And for updates on the situation, you can follow me on Twitter at WesRapp or Chapman News producer Trent Schlom at Trent Schlom to stay informed. And Chapman football looking for their first 6-win season under coach Bob Owens. Junior quarterback Kevin Hunter getting the start with Keen Stansel and Andrew Chavez both recovering from injury. We go to Claremont. 5-2 Panthers facing a winless Stags team. Panthers vying for a spot early in the playoffs. Early in the first, Hunter finds Robin Harris on a short screen pass, 28 yards to the house. Panthers strike first, 7-0. Harris would work his way to the end zone again before halftime on a 74-yard pass. He would end the day with 150 yards. Later, Stags running back Cameron Griffin takes it 9 yards to the 1. That sets up a keeper for QB Peter Kimmy, putting the Stags on the board, but they wouldn't get much more than that. Panthers lead at the half 31-7. Chapman, 1st and 10 from the 37. Kevin Hunter takes it himself down the sideline to the 15-yard line. Our photographer, Nicole, getting taken out in the process. She would be okay. So would the Panthers. They go on to win it 34-14. Chapman News reporter Alec Bachner takes it from here. Alec?
Thanks, Wes. The Panthers traveled to Claremont today, and both their offense and defense showed up. On the offensive side of the ball, Robin Harris had 2 touchdown receptions. And on defense, senior linebacker Kellen Matsuno led the way with 6 tackles. The one thing Coach Bob Owen stresses is to limit the number of penalties, as the Panthers had 9 penalties for 119 yards against them today.
It can't sit well. Sometimes the emotional part of the game can get ahead of you. It's one of those things that you have to control. We know we have to control it.
We had a real good offense, a week of practice, and I was just doing what they called, and I was just trying to make a play, and I was successful. So I don't take the credit for it. I just take the credit for everybody, offense as a whole. All linemen gave the quarterback time to put the ball there, and I was just able to make a play.
Being in the conference for the first year and being able to say you're the Sky champion is a big deal to us. So I think that's just our added motivation. And then we have lost to Kalamazoo every year since I've been here. So I don't think we need any more motivation to get up for the game.
Thank you, Alec. This weekend, the Panthers head to Thousand Oaks to take on Cal Lutheran. The undefeated Kingsmen are atop the SCIAC Conference and ranked 8th in Division 3. The Panthers have never been to the playoffs, and they do need a win this weekend for a chance at the postseason. We go now live to Chapman News reporter Julian Solomita, standing by with football coach Bob Owens. Julian, what's going on?
Thanks, Wes. Yes, I'm standing here with Coach Owens right now. Coach, obviously a big game tomorrow, a lot riding on it. How has this week been in preparation for that game?
It's been a great week. Obviously, some excitement here. But one of the things about this week is it's one of those things that our guys have looked forward to, and we've looked forward to it from the beginning of fall camp. It's one of those things that we pointed to. We're not surprised we're here because we expected to be here.
And you've had a great season, and most importantly, your defense has been really strong. You've had 22-something turnovers this season and have really held your opponents to a minimal score. Is that going to be a huge difference in tomorrow's game?
Well, turnovers, period, will be a difference in the game, and ball control. I think the team that will do a good job of just controlling the football, minimizing their mistakes. The team that turned the ball over last, the team that can control the tempo of the game, is a team that's going to ultimately win the game.
And you've had experience in the SCIAC where the team at Chapman has not, because this is their first season you coached at Whittier. Has your experience in the conference kind of helped them stay confident going in tomorrow?
Actually, I'll say it didn't hurt, but when you think about it, for us, we've had great senior leadership this year. And our guys, the upperclassmen, have done a fantastic job. They set some pretty definitive goals at the beginning of the season and said, this is how we want to play and this is what we expect. And they've done an outstanding job of just focusing on that and demanding some things from the sophomores and freshmen, and we've stayed right on track.
All right, well, best of luck, Coach. Thank you. We appreciate the time. And the Panthers will take on Cal Lutheran tomorrow at 1 at Cal Lutheran. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Julian, for that report. Moving on to Chapman Soccer. They're in the SCIAC Tournament Championship game, looking for their first automatic playoff berth in team history, coming off a victory over Claremont that came down to penalty kicks. This week they host Pomona Pitzer. Panthers at 15-5-1 entering this game. They would be the dominant force on the field. In the 17th minute, senior Karina Cisneros finds the back of the net for her 6th goal of the season. Panthers up early 1-0. Into the 32nd minute, freshman Baylor Hogan dishes to sophomore Rebecca Bortz. Past the Sagehens goalie Helena Epps, Bortz's 10th on the year, helps the Panthers lead 3-0 at half. Into the second half, 53rd minute, senior Amy Evans pads the lead with this breakaway goal, putting the Panthers up 4-0. The Sagehens do avoid the shutout. Here in the 85th minute, Amanda Koba puts one past Gabrielle Cohen. That would not be enough. Panthers beat the Sagehens 4-1. They move on to the Division III playoffs in San Antonio to face Hardin-Simmons on Saturday. And here's a look at the week ahead in Chapman sports. Football plays Cal Lutheran in Thousand Oaks Saturday, game time 1 p.m. Women's soccer heads to San Antonio for the first round of the Division III championships. They take on Hardin-Simmons at 9 a.m. Cross country travels up north to Salem, Oregon for the Division III West Regionals 10 a.m. Saturday. And men's basketball opens their regular season at home on Thursday. They host La Sierra at 7:30. For complete schedules, you can visit chapmanathletics.com. And with the Lake Shows sorting out their coaching plans and working on getting healthy, their crosstown rivals have made up for any feelings of remorse. The Clippers travel up north to face Portland. Chris Paul's Clippers coming off a huge win Wednesday night in San Antonio. We begin in the second quarter. Clippers up 56-34. Paul finds DeAndre Jordan with the slam. Jordan, with two hands and the foul, completes the three-point play. He had 21 on the night. Into the third, Blake Griffin bumps it away from J.J. Hickson. Griffin tosses it to Willie Green, and back to Griffin for the alley-oop. Clippers up 69-45. Blazers would cut the 25-point lead down to 4, but that would not be enough. 3 minutes left. Paul pulls up the jumper, and the Clippers head on to win 103-90. Paul finished the night with 21 points on the board, taking L.A. to 4-2 on the year, and Portland now settling at 2-3. And more news out of Los Angeles. The Dodgers got themselves a new hitting coach this week. Last week, Big Mac Mark McGwire accepted the job in an attempt to right the ship on the Dodgers hitting. The Shady Canyon resident leaves the Cardinals after 7 years with the organization, and during the last 3 of which he coached and helped lead the team to become one of the top hitting teams in the league. The Dodgers hope he can recreate the success he had with St. Louis's young hitters to get this younger talented team out of the late season slump they had this year. McGuire recently told the press he considered retiring, but felt the opportunity in Los Angeles was just too good to pass up. And lastly, back to Chapman sports. Nearly every fall sport earning individual honors this week, including senior football linebacker Michael Melhalf. He was named to the the All-District 8 team. Volleyball and soccer awarded as well this week, so great work from the Panthers as of late.
Very nice.
Adam, Jackie, are you guys going to make the drive down to Cal Lutheran? I guess it's up. You guys headed that way?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's my senior year. I have to go support my team.
I think I might be more inclined to head down to Lob City and see the clip show personally, but hey, if you want to pack up the CRV, I'm more than willing to go with you, Wes.
It's going to be a great game, no doubt about that.
And up next, Bond is back and Tom Hanks is the new Walt Disney. Adam, it's truly sounding like the chaos never does die.
And I still have no idea what you're talking about, so you're probably right. Whitney, what is happening in entertainment?
Well, coming up next in entertainment, find out how one of the world's most beloved films came to life at Disneyland this week. And I've got everything you need to know for Chapman's own If All the Sky Were Paper. All of this and more coming up next in entertainment.
Turning a 20-foot wall into a canvas takes vision. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
I just moved in with his family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous.
And welcome back, everyone. Well, Adam, I don't know about you, but I am so excited for this rainy weekend off. You'll finally get to catch up on all of those missed episodes of Blue's Clues you've been waiting for.
Absolutely. Shout out to my boy Steve. What does this have to do with entertainment, Jackie?
Absolutely nothing. But maybe Whitney can help us out with what's happening this weekend, so Adam can actually be social for once.
Yeah, I can help you out there. Celebrities came together to support victims of Hurricane Sandy last Friday. A concert benefit was put on by NBC and Matt Lauer quickly, as they wanted it to stay new in people's minds. Performers were John Bon Jovi, Bruce Springsteen, Sting, and Christina Aguilera, among others who had roots in the devastated Northeast. Each song became a message with a larger meaning, like Bon Jovi's Who Says You Can't Go Home to Under the Boardwalk, sung by Springsteen, Joel, and Steven Tyler. All proceeds went directly to those affected by means of American Red Cross. The benefit drew almost $23 million in donations. And you can still help those affected too by calling 1-800-RED-CROSS or going to redcross.org. And election night wasn't all political. There were some entertainment scandal thrown in there as well. In the words of Brian Williams, something else that happened were Donald Trump's infamous tweets on election night. And even better was Brian Williams' reaction. Take a look.
Trump, who has driven well past the last exit to relevance and veered into something closer to irresponsible here, is tweeting tonight. Here's a sampling. More votes equals a loss revolution. This election is a total sham and a travesty, and so on. So there you have that.
And that happened. Trump's Twitter page was blowing up on Election Day, and he was clearly unhappy with the outcome of the race. But since then, he's deleted some of the disrespectful tweets. But then Twitter blasted Brian Williams, saying, "Thanks, dummy. I just picked up 70,000 Twitter followers yesterday alone. Cable just passed you in the news ratings. And B. Williams, wouldn't you like to have my ratings?" And in other news, the new James Bond movie Skyfall premiered nationwide Thursday. This is the 23rd film in the spy series, and Daniel Craig's third time in the starring role. But his contract says he'll be Bond 5 more times, so you can expect the typical Bond girls also to make an appearance in this year's film. And a big theme song performed by Adele. Critics say she has the perfect grandeur voice for the Bond role. And guests who attended the Disneyland Resort on Tuesday or Wednesday were in for a magical treat. If you were in the right place at the right time, you may have seen Walt Disney himself walking through the park. Okay, it wasn't actually Walt Disney, it was Oscar-winning actor Tom Hanks. But if you didn't look too closely, you would not have seen the difference. Hank is playing Walt Disney in the upcoming film Saving Mr. Banks, which revolves around the story of how Disney got the rights to the legendary film Mary Poppins. The park closed off parts of Fantasyland and Castle to shoot scenes for the movie. The House of Mouse hasn't agreed to do this for any other movie except That Thing You Do in 1996, which coincidentally also starred Hanks. The film has yet to be given a release date. Chapman students, were any of you lucky enough to be at Disneyland while they were shooting? Tweet us at Chapman News and let us know if you were there. And what better way to celebrate Veterans Day than pay tribute to our military through performance? Chapman Theater is putting on If All the Sky Were Paper, a play written by Andrew Carroll that debuted on Chapman back in 2010. The heartfelt drama is seen through the eyes of those on the front and on the home front. Audiences will be moved by these powerful testaments to love, sorrow, humor, hope, and redemption that transcend the war of experience and itself. Tickets are $20 for general admission, $15 for senior citizens, and $10 for our veterans and active military. And that's all I have for entertainment. Adam, Jackie, back to you.
Thanks, Whitney. That show sounds absolutely amazing. I've been hearing so much about it, so I think I'm going to have to check it out this weekend. So, everybody, Adam needs friends. So make sure to friend us on Facebook at facebook.com/Chapman News. Follow us on Twitter at Chapman News and YouTube at youtube.com/Chapman News.
I thought you were my friend, Jackie. And log on to our website, chapmannews.tv. See all of our episodes, Chapman Newsies bios, and top headlines.
Well, Adam, I have to say that I am so happy to be able to do my senior show with you as my co-anchor. It's been so fun, slightly humbling, and I think the cameras are about to break by how gorgeous we look on camera.
Truly a battle for narcissism here in the Chapman News studio. Definitely stick around here on Channel 6 for some more notoriously great city programming, especially tonight at 10 o'clock for a replay of our live election night coverage featuring Trent Schloem. On a more serious note, a big salute this weekend to those who have served in the armed forces from everybody in the newsroom.
And for Adam Herbets, I'm Jackie Hudspeth. Enjoy your Veterans Day weekend, Orange County.